Sitting has probably never been more important in the history of mankind than it is today, which is why people are constantly on the search for good ergonomic office equipment, which brings us to today's review product, the SIHOO M90D office chair. Now this is one of their higher end chairs, and in all fairness, this chair was sent to me by SIHOO. I'm still going to be very much giving my honest opinion and professional review on it, so hopefully I can help you guys decide whether or not this is the right one for you. To keep this review as practical as possible, I'm going to do a bottoms up review, and I literally mean that. So starting with the wheelbase, immediately you'll notice you have a steel 5-star style wheelbase here. And what I really like here is that even the centerpiece for each of the wheels actually has a steel encasing, which is something that even my Secret Lab Omega chair doesn't have. So definitely off to a great start. It's very versatile and easy to move. Directly above the wheelbase, you have the pole connecting it to the rest of the body. So you'll find that directly beneath the actual chair is where you have all the adjustment mechanisms. Firstly, you have the resistance cap. This basically adjusts the amount of resistance you have in free motion mode with the backrest. Now past that, you have a single lever mechanism. This essentially is in charge of all the adjustment functionality this chair has to offer. And if I'm being honest, it's semi-intuitive, but not necessarily as easy as some other chairs. So push downwards and you can adjust the actual height of the chair itself. Pretty straightforward. Now to adjust the backrest, essentially if you push it inwards, it kind of locks the motion. If you pull it outwards, it unlocks the backrest motion, so you can kind of go in free swing mode. Or if you like a certain position, just push it back inwards and it kind of locks in place. This usually works. However, sometimes the position locking can be a little jittery. The bottom cushion is made of a soft sponge-like material, and generally speaking, I think it's quite comfortable because it's kind of struck the right balance between being firm enough but also soft enough. So it's firm in the sense that your legs will stay straight, your butt is tightly placed, and overall it's a very comfortable seat. Now it's also soft enough that you don't get extended fatigue from sitting for too long because it lets you sink in just a little bit, but not so much that you're in an uneven position. Generally speaking, like I said, this is very comfortable and most people will appreciate the balance they've gone with here. So the armrests on this thing are about as good as I'd expect them to be on any high-end office chair. So essentially you have nice long armrest and they have plenty of adjustability. So you essentially have 3 motions built in using the levers. You can adjust the height to go up and down, and they do go quite high, by the way. Also, you can bring them forward or back and you don't need to press the lever. That's just kind of adaptive motion right there. And finally, you also have the option to have them come inside or outside, or I guess left and right swivel, if you will. All 3 of these are very useful, and it's good to see that they've implemented them in a pretty straightforward way. Directly above the bottom cushion is where you have the lumbar pillow. I have good news and bad news. Starting off with the bitter news, there is no manual adjustment built in for the lumbar, meaning it is technically static. The good news is that SIHOO calls this their dynamic lumbar pillow, and for good reason. So it's designed in a way where it actually adjusts the overall resistance based on your weight and the amount of pressure you're applying towards the backrest. So if you are someone of a bigger body, for example, you'll notice the lumbar actually provides more resistance and pushes slightly more backwards and reduces its overall pronunciation again, thanks to a mechanism implemented. While this isn't entirely going to replace the need for a adjustable lumbar, it's probably one of the best implementations I've seen of a non-adjustable lumbar. It really is quite comfortable, all things considered. Now we get to the coolest part of the chair, the actual backrest. I think it's so well designed. So firstly, from the back side, it looks so cool with that spinal design. It just looks really professional, sophisticated, yet elegant, like a professional office chair should. However, what I really appreciate is of course that mesh grille design they have that also of course goes to the lumbar as well as the headrest. And the good thing I like about the mesh grille here is that it's not soft or loose in the slightest. It's very firm and rigid. In fact, I'd say it's just as firm or almost as firm as a more traditional cushion-based backrest solution. The good news, however, is that since it's way lighter than a cushion, there's a lot more breathability here, and generally speaking, it's very comfortable. I've sat on it for hours at a time. Rarely do I feel the need to adjust myself, and it is definitely well implemented here, and one of the biggest strengths of this chair overall. The only thing I will nitpick about is that they have this odd design on the fabric. It's supposed to, I guess, look like lines going through it, but it sometimes just looks like overwoven areas of the actual fabric. But again, that's just me being nitpicky. And finally, we have the headrest. Similar to the backrest, it's made of a high quality mesh grill finish. Now, it is very pronounced, but for most people, that will ultimately be a good thing. So the first thing to note over here is that you have a adjustable up-down motion with multiple settings. Additionally, the overall height of the headrest can also be adjusted with multiple settings, which makes it very convenient and provides a high degree of ergonomic value. In summary, the M90D is a very nice looking office chair. It has a clean, sleek, professional design that just complements any office environment very nicely. Now granted, it's not perfect. There are certain things that could make it better, like a adjustable lumbar or having a multi-lever system that allows for more intuitive operations. But if you're willing to set aside those things, I still think this is a very comfortable chair. Both the sponge cushion as well as the mesh material are of high grade, and you definitely feel like this chair has a nice build to it. It should last for the years to come, and while I haven't used it for that long, I definitely think it's gonna be around. And generally speaking, it succeeds at the mission it set out to do in the first place, which is to be a professional looking ergonomic chair. So if you are looking for a chair that doesn't necessarily break the bank, at $350 suggested retail price, I definitely think this is a pretty darn good chair. And by the way, it might be on sale, so feel free to check the links below and see if you can get an even better deal on it. As always, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please consider subscribing to our channel. It genuinely helps us grow. Thanks again for watching. Catch you in the next one.